Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Sari, and this is day 19 of the Simplify Your Life Challenge for 2022. This challenge is based on an ebook by YouTuber muchelleb. I will link her channel and the ebook in the bar down below. There's also a playlist where you can follow along with every video in this series from the beginning. I will link that on the screen. So with that, let us get into day 19, where we declutter our social media. Social media feeds are something that we see every day around us. They can be, and often are, a tool for good. They bring us connection, information, sharing, etc. And honestly, some of my closest friendships have been formed over social media. I would hate to lose access to my social feeds because I would feel instantly disconnected from friends and family and peers and information. I think that social media is very important, and it is a key part of how we live our lives these days. I don't love all of these articles and the commentary on how social media is a universal evil and we shouldn't be spending our time there and that we should be putting our phones down and being out in the world, because for some of us, interaction comes a lot more easily in these digital spaces. As I said, this is where truly some of my best friends are. My family is. This is how I stay connected to my community and my people. So to universally vilify social media as something undesirable is not helpful. And all of these thoughts on like digital detox, put your phone down, don't sign into your social accounts, don't access social media for days or weeks. I don't believe in that. I think, however, that it's up to us to curate, to the extent that we can, our experiences on social media, because they can be a force for good. But more often than not, I think a lot of us find them pretty bad for our mental health and our self-image, and basically being a huge time sink in our day that can leave us feeling drained and jealous and bitter and anxious and sad and inadequate and all of these terrible things. Social media can be a force for good, but it can also be a really bad thing if we let it. And that's what today is about. Today is about trying to take back the control of our social media feeds so that we are finding those connections and building friendships and all of the good things while doing our best to minimize and avoid the bad. Social media feeds play a huge part in informing our moods, our aspirations, the way we look at the world, the way we look at our own lives, and sometimes the way we live our lives. There's all of this talk about, especially Instagram and photo sharing sites, about how more than ever we're comparing ourselves to other people, but what we see and what we put there is only the good. So we're comparing our regular life to something fake and scripted and crafted carefully and staged. And of course it looks beautiful and amazing and lovely, and your life looks regular. And I just think there's danger in that. And it can really impact our mental health and how we feel about the world and ourselves. I'm guilty of this myself. I mean, I've had comments from people that are like, you always look so good. And I was like, well, I'm obviously not going to put pictures where I feel like I look terrible on social media. Like, why would I share a selfie where I'm like, wow, I look bad today. Here, you want to see a picture? People do that, but they do it intentionally because they want to subvert this idea that everybody's life is perfect. And there's a space for that. And I think we should all be doing it more. I am trying to challenge myself of saying, you know what you look like is what you look like. Put it on the internet. Who cares? Why do you need to always change things? edit the photos, make yourself look better, smooth your skin texture, all of that, right? And that's what we're seeing from everyone. We do have to be careful here. This stuff, if we let it, can hold us back. But it can also move us forward. We only want to hold on to things that move us forward. So today is all about creating social media feeds that serve us well and give us content and connections that bring us joy, that uplift us, that make us feel supported, that make us feel empowered. So if you're someone who's greatly impacted by what comes across your feed, but you need the connection those spaces bring you, then today is a way for you to take charge and control what you see a little bit more. So as with all things, the first step we take is to create guiding questions. And in this case, I'm just using the ones from the ebook because I thought they were really good suggestions. So we start with, do I know who this is? If you look through the people you're following across all platforms and you don't know who that person is or who that brand is, they don't need to take up space on your feed and in your life. Unfollow them. How do their posts make me feel? If this person's or this brand's account is just posts that make you feel sad or angry or jealous, or even if you honestly just feel nothing and don't care about their content, that's not something that's good for you to follow. I'm all for following people that are aspirational to you. Yes, I said aspirational, not inspirational. That was very intentional. Because what I mean is people or brands who have a feed that depicts a life goal or a lifestyle that you aspire to in your own life. But if that crosses over into making you feel bad about your life, but it doesn't push you to action and positive change, that is not something healthy for you to be following. If the lifestyle that is depicting is not something that is realistic for you to achieve, and all it does is remind you that it's not realistic for you to achieve, that is not content you need to see. Your feed should only be filled with words and images and video and content that makes you feel happy or creative or connected or inspired. Have I liked any of their last 10 posts? This is a suggestion from the ebook as a way to assess whether you appreciate the content this person or brand is posting. This doesn't mean like you physically liked it, you hit the heart button. It just means you've enjoyed it. You said, oh, that's cool. Oh, I shared it with a friend. Oh, I took note of that. Somehow that positively impacted my day. It can't even mean you didn't just glaze over it and you actually liked it, because I know there are tons of people in my feed that I'm just like, oh yeah, okay, whatever. I don't need to see that. I don't need to waste my day scrolling past posts I don't care about anymore. This is a good check on whether or not you're actually feeling positive about someone's content. This is where you can kind of weed out some of those things where you're like, well, I don't hate it, but I'm kind of neutral and I don't care. That's how we end up wasting our time on social media, is trying to sift through all of this content that we mostly don't care about to get to what we do. So eliminate that from your day. If it's not actually bringing positivity, it doesn't need to be there. I have chosen this week to also focus on my email inboxes. I have multiple emails. Maybe that's common. Maybe we all do. I have a lot of them though. I didn't know where to fit this in, and I thought I would lump it in with social media because it's kind of social-ish in that content is coming into me that I don't necessarily need to see, want to see, or feel positive about. And it's a way for me to interact with others. So I just grouped it here. I have another set of questions, although they're pretty similar to the ones we just asked for social media feeds, but we're going to look at them from a little email specific slant. Do I know who this is? This is another place to check if someone is in your contacts or the list of people or brands you've subscribed to, but you have no idea who they are or what their brand is or what this does, you probably don't need to have them in your inbox or in your contacts list. You don't need to receive emails from them. Delete that info, delete their contact info, delete the emails in your inbox from them, and unsubscribe from that content so it's not coming at you every day, even though you don't even know what it is and you don't care. Do I want this content? This is where we look at all of those email marketing lists, email newsletters, email subscription stuff that comes at us all the time. Every day, all day. You don't have to stay on those lists. You do have to keep up with unsubscribing, because the more things you do on the internet, the more you end up on random people's email lists, whether you want to be or not. Always, 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 always uncheck the boxes when you're buying things or you're interacting with content or whatever that say, subscribe me to your list. Always uncheck them. Find them. They're there. Uncheck them. If you're being bombarded with emails from companies that you purchased something from one time, or a brand you interacted with or visited their website one time, and especially all of those marketing emails coming at you with sale after sale after sale after sale, especially now that we are in a state where we are being mindful about what we're buying, and we are not just buying stuff to buy stuff, and we are decluttering our whole lives, and we've minimized everything we own. We don't need to be tempted by those sale emails. I literally just got gotten by one of them. Because I bought something from the brand and I hadn't unsubscribed because I actually like that brand. And then they were like, hey, everything's 50 to 70% off. And I bought a bunch of stuff, because that's what happens when you get those emails. You have to take back control of that. It's a lot easier to not buy things if you don't see the emails about them and the constant reminders that they exist in the first place. Sort through what you do actually want and unsubscribe from the rest. This can apply to personal emails and other content as well. If there's someone that you don't want to hear from for whatever reason, and you're not obligated to read their emails, trust me, there are a lot of people I don't want to hear from, but I have to, so I have to leave those in there, even though I'm like, don't email me. Add those people to your blocked contacts, to your spam filters, to your junk, whatever. If your email client lets you auto filter or auto tag, figure out how to set up a protocol that automatically filters messages from people that you can't block, but you don't want to just see all their content all the time, into their own folder. That way, you can decide on your own time to open up that folder and see what's in there and say, are any of these emails the 1% of things I actually need to see from this person? And if not, delete the rest. But then it's not always coming at you, like that person that forwards all the chain emails and sends you jokes and all that junk you don't want, but every once in a while you actually need to know about a thing. Just put all their stuff in a folder and deal with it later when you feel ready to deal with it. Do I even read this? If you're subscribed to lists and email newsletters and other content that you thought was a good idea when you signed up for it, but you find yourself always just deleting the emails without opening them, you don't need that content. Unsubscribe. You don't even look at it. It's the same as the whole, did I like their last 10 posts? If that email exists just for you to delete it, it is wasting your time, and you don't need to have it. Once you have set all your questions, it's time to clear out your accounts. So take this one social media account or one email account at a time. Go through each person you follow, have subscribed to, or are friends with, whatever platform and whatever they call that. Consider their content against your guiding questions. If a brand, a website, or a feed do not fit with your guiding questions, remove them from your feed. I want to note that I said consider their content against your questions. We're not judging people here. We're just judging how what they post makes us feel. This can be someone that you know and you respect and you're close to, but their content makes you unhappy. That's okay. You don't have to see that content. You are not obligated to or required to see the content they post on social media if it doesn't make you feel good. You are in charge of your own experiences here. To some degree. I mean, nobody's fully in charge of their own experience on social media, but you can do what you can do. If you know it's going to make you feel bad, don't interact with it. Don't let it come onto your feed. Don't let it into your day. Remember that you don't always have to unfollow someone, especially if you think doing so would damage a relationship that you don't want to damage. You can always mute their content and they won't know unless they specifically ask you, did you see my post on whatever? And then of course you can say no and not have to explain why, because we get bombarded with so much stuff on social media that it's super easy to miss a post and just say, oh no, I didn't. Can you send me that? Or can you tell me what was in it? Or can you link that to me? And then you can choose to unmute and interact with that if you want to. If you feel comfortable with it, you can block them and they can't interact with your content either. But generally people know when you've done that, so use that with caution. Seriously, mute everything you don't want to see. Take a bunch of time and set up your keyword mutes in Twitter, on Tumblr, wherever keyword mutes are a thing, and literally put in every version of everything you could possibly think of that you don't want to see on your feed. Same thing with people. If there are people who you're like, look, I love you, but your feed is exhausting, mute them so you don't have to see it. It's not bad. It's you taking care of you and you managing your own emotions and feelings before you concern yourself with the feelings of others. And I know that's really hard for some people to do, but it's necessary because you cannot manage everyone else's feelings, especially if yours are not handled. So this is me saying, if you do not feel good with this content, mute it. Don't look at it. It's okay. No one ever has to know. After social media, it's time to clear out our email. I use Gmail, so it's pretty easy to set up a folder structure and tagging within Gmail, which is great because it helps you organize your inbox, but it's also kind of terrible because you can just dump stuff in there and forget it exists, which I do kind of a lot. I'm also very bad at actually deleting email, like truly abysmal at actually deleting email. And most of the time, my amazingly successful system for remember to deal with this email is to just mark it unread and leave it in my inbox. And then 3 days later, I've gotten 20 more messages and it's no longer on the main page and I forgot it existed anyway because it's on page 2 and I didn't even see it. So I never actually delete the message because it stayed unread so that I could remember to read it. But I have 400 unread messages because I've done this for years and they're all just in my inbox somewhere, not being read and not being deleted. And then even when I do read emails, I just go get distracted by the thing in the email and don't delete the email. So it's a mess and I have a lot of emails. I love Google's search feature, although it's been letting me down recently and not showing me messages that I know are in there because I just opened them. So this is a good time for me to say, let me clear this out, since clearly Google is no longer being as useful with the search feature as it used to be. Here's what we're going to do. Go through each of your email inboxes and all of the subfolders within those inboxes and weigh the content against your guiding questions. Delete contacts, block senders, unsubscribe from everything you don't need to see. I know for me, unsubscribing is tedious and it takes forever, and that's why we don't do it. So I use an app that basically handles that for me. The one I use is called Unroll Me, and it's super easy to use and it's free. I am not sponsored. I'm just giving you some recommendations here. The issue with Unroll Me is that they do collect data from you, and you have to give them access to your email, which they collect some info on purchasing and marketing for trends. They're affiliated with Rakuten, etc., etc. So beware of that. Read all of their data privacy stuff closely. Read up on what they're doing and what is happening with this data. Make informed decisions. There are some alternative services that do not track you and do not do this and do not collect information on you and have better encryption for privacy and all of these things. Those services have a cost. The one I've been looking into is called Clean Email. It's $10 a month for one email account, $20 a month for up to 5. You can save majorly if you pay annually. I haven't actually used that service, although I'm thinking about switching to it. But I can't tell you how it works or if it's as good or what happens because I haven't used it. Once you've done that, it's time to take on the insurmountable task of deleting old emails. Everything you don't need, delete it. If there are emails that need action and need you to deal with them, deal with them. And then archive and file the things that you need to keep. Because we all have email that we need to keep around, even if we're not using it. It's better to keep that in folders and not just your inbox for a lot of reasons. I find it super helpful to apply the same questions that I used for paper sorting here, thinking about these emails as important documents or digital files. So use those questions you've already created to help you understand whether you need this, and also to help you understand what is an important document that should be kept. I really, truly recommend putting those in a folder together that you can find, but isn't your email inbox. Because it's super easy to just get mad at your inbox, go on a deleting spree, and accidentally delete important receipts. I know this because I did it recently. I've done it more than once. But I did it recently when I dropped my hard drive for all of my video files, and I'm pretty sure I deleted the 2-year service agreement warranty, which still covered that hard drive, and I didn't get it covered because I deleted the email. Don't do that. It literally cost myself money. Things like email receipts, terms of service, these warranty and service plans that the stores email you, email gift cards. I accidentally deleted gift cards too. Put those all in a folder. That's like important stuff. Don't delete this. You can also have other folders for things you want to keep, but I would really recommend keeping this to a minimum because the more folders you have, the more things you have to go through and try to find and remember, is it in this folder? Is it in this folder? Is it in this folder? And it will just encourage you to not delete the emails because they're in folders and they're not in your inbox, so you don't see them. So minimize the number of folders you keep. Try to keep like one important emails folder. Take action on or file everything else. I have 3, 4, I don't know, email accounts, and I am terrible at organizing all of them. And the content in there goes back 10 or 15 even years. So this is going to take me a while. It's like a paper declutter, but like exploded to the extreme. Once you've done the clear out and the organization, it's time to turn off notifications. I realize that this might be kind of terrifying to some people, and it might be stressful, and it may end up not being useful for you. I don't think we can universally say, turn off every social media notification, because I have things like ongoing group chats on Twitter that if I turned off all Twitter notifications, I would miss out on that content, which is me interacting with my friends online. And I mute my phone sounds during the day when I'm at work, so I'm not on there all day at work like, oh, these people are having a fun conversation. And I pop in if I have time, or if I'm on a break, or if I'm waiting for something, but I'm not constantly getting those little tempting beeps of people are having fun over here without you. And I recommend that. But I don't necessarily think that I would mute all notifications, because I would never know about any of that content, and I don't want to totally miss it and not be involved in these discussions and conversations. I do recommend that you mute notifications for a week or 2 weeks or maybe a month and see how you feel. This is a way to reclaim your time. If you're one of those people that every time you hear the phone beep or vibrate, you need to pick it up and see what happens, that instinctual, I need to interact with this may really help you save a lot of time in your day. If you say, I'm going to turn this off and I'm going to interact with social media on my own time, I'm going to identify the period of my day where I have half an hour to scroll through my Twitter feed, the period of my day where I have 20 minutes to deal with these emails, the period of my day where I have 45 minutes to watch Instagram and TikTok content. You can decide to do that on your own time rather than it coming to you and demanding your attention. I also super recommend that if you work at home, especially, but in an office or anywhere, and you have your phone right next to you, that you mute the sound and notifications during the day. I realize this gets tricky because sometimes that is your work phone as well. So there are protocols you can set up, at least on my phone, that will allow you to mute certain things and allow calls through. Dig into your phone settings, look up some stuff, look at some videos on how to do this. I set up some routines, and the app notifications are still there. They're on my phone home screen, but I don't hear the noise, and that's really useful for me. So I would recommend looking into ways that you can do that and trying to take control of how often and when your phone is demanding your attention. That's it for today. I have a lot of emails to delete. I've been going through my social media feeds, and I've kind of cleaned up my Instagram and muted a lot of things, although I honestly don't look at Instagram that much anymore. It's a few hours at night, and it's really just whatever Instagram pushes me a thing that's like, hey, these people whose stuff you interact with regularly have posted new content. Then I look at that content and not really anything else unless I have time. Same thing with Twitter. I basically don't look at my Twitter unless someone tags me in it, and that works for me. Do it however it works for you, and try some things out. Mute notifications, make your phone silent, do whatever you need to do. Just try it for a month, a week, 2 weeks, and see how it makes you feel. If you start really feeling anxious, like you're not connected because you're missing these notifications and you're forgetting that social media exists, but you're not happy that you're forgetting social media exists, maybe this policy of muting things does not work for you. Try it, see how you feel, see what works for you. Let me know how you did, how you're doing, how you feel about the social media declutter. Do you also have a bunch of people on social media that you're like, I don't care about your content, or it makes me feel bad? I think we all have that. Do you feel empowered to mute content or take it away so that you're not seeing it? I hope you do. Try it. Just try it with something low stakes. and take note of how that makes you feel and whether that improves your life. And then try it with something a little less low stakes and take notes. Just work your way up to it. How is your email clear out? How are you feeling about this whole thing? Are your digital files way more organized now? This is the last day of digital files, and next week we move into assessing ourselves, which is terrifying. So I'm trying to drag it out as long as possible, but I have to do the hard work of understanding my brain, and I don't want to. I'm terrified. I'm just going to try to take these moments of clearing out my email inbox and say, well, at least this isn't hard. It's just annoying. Let me know how you're doing, how you're feeling. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. And if you want to see the rest of the content and whatever else I'm posting, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell, and I will see you in the next video for the hard work. Bye.